Hello, everyone. This is my project for my Security 2 class. I will be talking about IMAP and DNS. So let's get right into it. So basically what we're going to be talking about, this is the table of contents for IMAP and DNS. So the next slide is going to be the overview of IMAP. Then I will be having 3 slides on the types of hardening for IMAP, and then after that I'll be giving an overview of the hardening for DNS, and then I will be giving you 3 types of hardenings for DNS, and then it'll be a conclusion. So IMAP. IMAPS is an extension for the Internet Message Access Protocol IMAP that incorporates encryption for secure email communication. It operates over a secure channel and typically using SSL or TLS protocols to ensure the confidentiality and integrity of data exchanged between the email client and the server. IMAPS is designed to provide a secure method for accessing and managing email messages. It builds upon IMAP, adding a layer of encryption to protect sensitive information such as login credentials and email content during transmission. The default port number for IMAPs is 993. This port is dedicated to secure IMAP communication. In our course, understanding this default port number is crucial when configuring email clients for secure access. So, as we said before, IMAPs is the Internet Message Protocol secure. Alright, this will be the first of the hardenings for IMAP. So this one is to reconfigure secure socket layer certificates. So it allows to keep their online transactions and keep customer information private and secure. The secure socket layer keeps internet connections secure and prevents criminals from reading or modifying information transferred between 2 systems. And I read this in the USA Kaspersky from 2020. Next is reconfiguring SSL certifications is necessary because it constantly needs to be re-evaluated to make sure things stay accurate. When reconfiguring the SSL certifications, you can do this by searching for the Internet email settings in the command line, then allowing encrypted connection. The second hardening for IMAP will be to change from port 143. Port 143 is insecure and needs to be disabled or changed to port 993, which is the standard secure port for IMAP. It is necessary to disable or change ports because if a cyber attacker gains physical access to an active port, they will be able to connect to the network and potentially launch attacks or gain unauthorized access. And again, this is where I got this from. You can go look at it when you look at the conclusions. And it's from Navneet Triavita 2022. This is why it is required to disable port 143 because it is insecure and needs to be changed to port 993 to help mitigate security risk. You can disable or change a port by using the command prompt line quote open SSL space s underscore client dash show certs dash connect imap.foo.com :993 CRLF, end The last hardening for IMAP will be to create firewall rules that do not allow any direct access to IMAP servers to those who are not unauthorized to be on them. This keeps people with malicious intent out while letting people who need access to the server, have access to the server. Okay, and next is DNS. This is the overview. So DNS, or domain name system, servers as foundational pillar of the internet, translating human readable domain names into machine readable IP addresses. In our course, we aim for a profound technical exploration of DNS, emphasizing default port numbers and the spectrum of applications and services reliant on this critical protocol. DNS utilizes one primary port serving a specific function in the DNS communication process, which is port 53, is the default port for DNS queries and responses. So the first hardening of DNS would be to restrict zone transfers. So zone transfers should be restricted to only those IP addresses that need the information. This reduces the risk of DNS cache poisoning or other DNS related attacks. So what you would do, you'd go to the options menu, you would go to allow transfer, and then list the IPs that you want to have access to the DNS. The next, the second hardening of DNS would be DNS SEC, or just DNS security extensions. So what it is a set of security extensions for the DNS protocol that provides authentication and integrity to the DNS system. So to enable DNSSEC by adding the following to your bind configuration file. So you'd have to configure bind, and then you would have to go to options, and then you'd have to type in DNS SEC dash enable space yes semicolon, and then DNS SEC dash validation space yes semicolon. And the final hardening of DNS would be disabling recursive queries will help prevent DNS amplification attacks, where a small query can be turned into a much larger response. So as before, you'd have to download bind to that server, and then you would add the following to the bind configuration. So be options, and then it would be recursion, and you would put no. And this is my references. It's HackVisor tactics hardening bind 9. Basically the bind 9 is the application you would use to actually do most of these, actually all of these commands, I believe, into on the server for DNS. And that is basically it for my my video for my Security 2 class about IMAP, which is Internet Message Access Protocol, which basically just receiving emails, allows users to access their emails from different devices, and DNS, which is the domain name system, which is, basically the way things are named on computers or services. Thank you and have a good day.